Okay, today we're going to show you how to locate and exchange the transmission control module on your BMW, actually variety of engine sizes, basically the E39 model, which covers years 1996 through 2003. So, like any other procedure where an electrical issue is involved, first thing you should do is disconnect your battery. And as we see here, I do that by removing the negative cable and tucking it right down in the side of the battery hole. We don't want it popping up and connecting again and frying any of our circuitry. So that's step one. Step two, which I didn't see any videos on previously, although I heard descriptions, which is the way I found it, is to locate where the engine control module as well as the transmission control module are kept. So that is in the passenger side of the engine compartment, and it's located underneath the cabin air filter for the passenger side. So we're going to take that off and we pull out the filter. You might want to remember which way it goes. There's a tab here. The bottom is the dirty side where all the dirty air comes in. Then in addition to that, we remove this rubber gasket, and then we have to take off the venting that goes from the cabin air filter into the cabin. And that's really just needs to be loosened. And if we look down here, there's a retaining clip that holds the cabin air filter canister in place. Now to get this off, you push from both sides and pull, and don't drop it, although it's not that critical. Put it somewhere safe where you won't lose it. Alright, then after you do that, the air canister housing will come out. You tilt it up a little bit to in this direction. And I'll put it somewhere on top of the engine here. Then what you see under there is the compartment where they stick the engine control unit, ECU, as well as the TCU. Now to remove this, all you need is one tool, and it's an Allen wrench. And as soon as I figure out which one it is, I'll give you the size so you know which one you need. In terms of rough sizing, I believe, from what I remember, it's this one, which doesn't tell you much, but this one, is it on there? I might have a size on the thing.
It's a 5mm.
5mm? Alright, let's see if that's the one. That's the one, so it's a 5mm Allen wrench. We got 4 securing screws on this thing, which are very easy to get off. They're not tight at all. And you don't want to take them all the way off, because you'll lose them, and I think there's a washer on the other side that holds them inside of the lid of the canister, so you don't lose them when you take off the top. Okay, see, it comes loose. They probably will come out, but we don't want to do that. So we take this one here. You can really do it by hand after you loosen it. The only one that's a bit of a PIA is the one in the back corner here. And again, once you get it loose, you can do it by hand. Obviously, if you had a power drill with an Allen wrench bit, it would be a whole lot easier. But not everybody has that, including me. So I'll do it by hand. Okay, I think we got it. Yes. Okay, so that's the cover, which hides the guts of the two computer modules, one for the engine and the other for the transmission. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I've got a million check engine codes which don't clear with a standard scanner and erase function on a OBD2 unit, and they're all transmission control codes. None of them are engine control codes. So that says to me I got a problem with the transmission control module. The car actually drives fine, but I can't clear the codes, so I have a check engine light on, and I'll fail my upcoming inspection, which is due shortly. Okay, so first thing is, which one is which? The front module with a blue top, that's the transmission control module. Now, first thing you want to do, well, not the first thing, but you want to make sure you got the right one. So to do that, either take it out completely, or if you haven't bought one yet, which I bought on eBay, you want to pull it up, take a picture of the label, which has all the coding on it. There are these two plastic, right here and right there, two plastic tabs that you need to push towards the rear of the car in order to loosen the module from the canister. Okay, so we see here this is a Siemens, and the key number there is 1423886. And the big question here, if you look to the right, here is the VIN of the car that this is in, my VIN. So the big question here is, does it need to be reprogrammed to match the VIN, or will another one work in the car? I've heard some people say it has to match or be reprogrammed, others say it doesn't. So I'm going to find out right now which answer is the right answer. I'm going to pause here for 1 second just to take a break and wipe the sweat off myself. It's like 89 degrees, so we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So now this is the unit I bought off of eBay. You see the numbers here match, the 1423886. Obviously the VIN, which is found here, does not match. All the connectors, unlike some of these units, they have a whole series of pins with a round gasket, plastic gasket frame on them on the bottom. I was afraid that that was the case with these, and I'd have to be able to find that hole inside of this compartment, but fortunately that is not the case. All I have to do is remove the connectors here and put them back in to this unit and slip it back in to the casing. Now, I have not done this before, so we're going to assume that it's got some locking clips here, here, and here, which need to be removed or need to be pressed in order to get them out. There goes one. Obviously you want to be cognizant of the way it connects, although I'm sure it's keyed, but I can't swear to that yet. Okay, I'm going to take this one out next. Oh, you know what? This might. Okay, that's the way that works. You push this down and then pull the black cover to the left. Okay, I hadn't done that before, so I didn't know. Okay, now we're going to do that to this one. Pull the cover to the left. Again, let's not forget which way this thing went. Okay, so we're going to grab the replacement module and we're going to start putting this stuff back in. Okay, there goes that one. One. Two. And three. This one's obviously the power. Okay, it's in. Now I think what I'm going to do before I put everything back and waste a whole lot of time is I'm going to try and start the engine and see if it runs. I guess before I do that, we're going to pause for a minute. I'm going to move all these pieces that I just put all of the engine and then get ready to start it up. Okay, so we're back again. Now we put the battery connector back on, and again I'm not going to put all the air filters and all that stuff back on. I'm going to get in the car and see if it starts, and we'll see what happens. I will pray. Okay, well, good news and bad news. The car did start. However, after it was running a few minutes, we can see over here, there's the transmission fault indicator has come on. Service engine light is on, which it has been, which is the reason I'm doing this. So we're going to see. I'm going to pause again for a moment and put my scanner in the OBD port and see if I can clear any codes, see whether or not any of this will go away. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so I've turned the engine off and I have the key in position 2. So we're waiting for the scanner to connect. Okay, so good news and bad news. Good news is I only have 3 codes here. First one being a 335, which is crankshaft position sensor circuit A. Now I'm not going to get all worked up about that yet. Let's see what the next one turns out to be. 441. What does that say?
Evaporative emission system.
Okay, I'm not sure what that one is. That could be MAF or I don't know what. So let's see what the next one is. Is there a third one? Doesn't look like it.
So there's select manufacturer, BMW.
What does that say?
It says press forward if that's correct.
Okay, 1747, which says
Bus monitoring.
bus monitoring, which maybe has something to do with the mismatch of the transmission control unit. All right, so I'm going to try and clear these now and see if we have any luck. Okay, race was successful, although we'll see how successful. Like I said, I had 13 codes in there with the old TCU in there. Now we'll see how many I have or don't have. So let's see if we have any left or not. Zero codes. Amazing. Well, I'm going to try and start it and see if that engine transmission control warning light comes on again. I hope not. Oh my God. I have not seen a dashboard without the check engine light on in about 9 months. Oh well. Transmission warning came on again, but the check engine light did not. So I'm going to think that I still have zero codes, which is good. So I could probably pass my inspection. I guess the question is going to be whether or not the transmission shifts properly and does what it needs to do. So we're going to take another pause. I'm going to test drive the vehicle and see how it operates. Okay, we're back again. This is the most fantastic, unbelievable news I've ever had. If we can look at the dash, we can see that there are no indicators at all. We just test drove the vehicle. It drove and shifted flawlessly, and I am incredibly happy. So so much for the TCU being keyed to the VIN. However, just make sure you get the right control module numbers. And I can't swear that this is the case for every year, but it's certainly the case for the 2000 528i. I am happier than hell. So I bought that unit on eBay for 40 bucks. So that's the good news. And if you have the same issue of codes that won't clear, give this a shot. So hold on, we'll be back in a second to close out.
So this concludes the ECU and TCU location and TCU replacement of the 2000 BMW 528i E39. Work performed by...
And here's the happy owner who is thrilled that he does not have to spend $800 for a new TCU and have it reprogrammed by some thief dealer or who knows who, independent repair shop. So I'll just give my credit